What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I want to just hone in for a second on the Farseer ancestors. I want to talk about how they function, what they actually do, how often they do what they do, and then what the damage numbers actually look like and the healing numbers. We're going to look at this from a Resto Shaman's point of view, but this also applies to LE Shaman, just on a, only on the DPS side of things. But let me show you how the Farseer ancestors actually work. Whenever you use Unleash Life or whenever you cast your Ancestral Swiftness, you're going to get an ancestor, and then I also have it talented into routine communication. Sorry. So my Riptides have a chance to spawn them too. Whenever they're up, if you cast a single target damaging spell, they'll cast Lava Burst. If you cast an AoE damaging spell, they'll cast Chain Lightning. If you cast a single target healing spell, they'll cast Healing Surge. And if you cast a AoE healing spell, they'll cast Chain Heal. Okay, that's what they do. Now, I've had people in the comments say like, oh, they have like an internal cooldown on it. They only cast like one spell every time they're up. Like it's really, really bad. That's not true at all. They'll cast as much as you can cast. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Let's look at the actual breakdown of the numbers really quickly. I just ran a heroic dungeon, and this is the numbers on the ancestors themselves. Almost 9% of my damage was from ancestors. That includes Lava Burst and Chain Lightning. Those are the two spells they cast. Okay. On the healing side of things, it's going to break down to my chain heals from ancestors was about 6% of my healing. My healing surge from ancestors was 3.6. So let's call that 9.5% of my healing. That's the AoE and then the single target. And then they put a hydro bubble whenever they dissipate, whenever the actual ancestors disappear. So let's call it 11, almost 11.5% of my overall healing was from ancestors. Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. And you can see the actual number of the ancestors heal. My chain heals are hitting for about, the crits were 825. The ancestors crits were about 311. So it's about half. It's actually less than half of what my chain heal does is what they end up doing. Okay? Just for context. Now, let's talk about how they actually function, because I think people don't really understand how this works. They will cast as many spells as you can actually cast while they are up. Remember, they only last for 6 seconds. They can last 8 seconds if you do heed my call, but then you have to get rid of routine community. I think that's a mistake. So they only last 6 seconds. So they actually will cast as much as you can, which means our haste scaling is really good with Farseer, okay? As much haste as you can kind of get is going to be really good within reason. You don't want to like negate your other secondary stats, but getting up to like 35% haste will be like really, really good because that'll make them cast more often. Here's how it works. I'm going to show you them casting right here, right now. I'm going to press Unleash Life. I'm going to get my Riptide going so that I have a faster cast time from Tidal Wave. So watch this. Riptide. I have faster spells now. We're going to get a ancestor out, and then I'm going to cast. Watch her arms. There goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then she dissipated. Okay, so she did 4 single target heals right there before she disappeared. I got another one because I pressed Riptide. So that's pretty good. That's 4, like as fast as I was able to cast, she was throwing her arms up in the air and she was casting too. So right now in the early part of like the expansion, when we first get into it, I think there's going to be a stat squish and your haste is going to be really bottomed out. It's going to be quite bad. But as you scale into the later parts of the expansion, it's going to be really good. They can also cast a single target heal and an AoE heal back to back without really any GCD at all. So watch this. I'm going to summon an ancestor and then I'm going to cast a healing wave. Right as that healing wave is done, I'm going to instantly cast a chain heal, and my lady who pops out, she's going to do both of those spells as well. Okay, so here we go. We got an ancestor. Here comes my healing wave into an instant chain heal. Boom. So she casts the healing wave and she casts the chain heal right away. So you can kind of double dip there where there's no internal GCD in terms of like, they don't even have like a GCD, I don't think. It's just as quickly as you can cast your abilities, they will cast them too, even if you have an instant cast, Ancestral Swiftness. Now, let's look at the damage just so I can prove that this is working correctly. I can't make my chain lightnings go very fast, so just bear with me. I'm going to summon an ancestor and then do chain lightning. Ancestor, chain lightning, 1, 2, she's casting 1. Here's my second one. Here's my third one. She's casting that. Oh, I was actually too slow, so she went out before them. But let's say we do it again. We'll do an instant cast Lava Burst into a chain lightning, right? So Ancestor, we go chain lightning into instant lava burst. She cast both of them, okay? She went chain lightning lava burst as well. So I want you to understand that these things are pretty good. They're not up for very long, so they're able to cast, like Blizzard hasn't made it so that there's an internal cooldown there, because they basically said to you, hey, they're only up for 6 or 8 seconds. That's a very short amount of time. So as many spells as you can fit inside there when you have them, that's what you want to be doing, because that's going to produce a lot of healing and it's not completely overpowered. So that's how they end up functioning. They will cast spells. When you cast spells, your haste scaling is going to be really, really good. You can have some fun little combos with Ancestral Swiftness where you're getting instant cast, like a single target spell or single target plus AoE, whatever you want to do. They'll just copy everything that you're doing, and they're actually, I would say, very powerful. I love this Farseer tree. I think it's really good. I noticed over the course of the dungeon, because of my Riptide casts and because of Ancient Fellowship, I was just having Ancestors up all the time. So you just have this constant, like, extra buddy on the side who's just helping you out to keep people alive, to make sure that you can do lots of extra damage. And again, as I was trying to show, you have like a burst window of either DPS or healing. And I'll show you right here the DPS burst window. If I go Unleash Life into Ancestral Swiftness, I can do 3 chain lightnings, and both of my ancestors should be able to do it as well. So we'll go Stormkeeper, and then we're going to go Unleash Life, Ancestral, then we go Chain Lightning, and then Chain Lightning. Boom. Those are the 3 chain lightnings right there. And you can see, if we look at the current segment, the damage there was pretty outrageous, right? I was doing like 600k DPS, and you can see my ancestors ended up doing a lot of extra damage for me. So it's pretty cool. You either have a burst DPS window or a burst healing window, but the bottom line is these guys will cast spells when you do, and it's actually quite powerful, I would say, in my opinion. I think this is a fantastic hero tree for Resto Shaman. It's going to be good for Ellie Shaman too, but I just wanted to showcase it as Resto so you can see both sides of it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you thinking of playing Farseer Shaman? I think it's really good. If you're going to play Resto Shaman, this is a very good tree. I would love to hear what you think about it, though, in the comments down below. Let me know. All right. Love you guys. See you in the next one.